So we're going to do this lesson or what?
Yes, we are. Today's lesson, The Middle by Jimmy Eat World. Really classic tune. One of their probably big hits. It's a song that sounds like super timeless. Like if you hear it today, like, oh man, that's such a killer song. Like it.
Never heard of it.
Bullshit. But before we start, I thought I would just keep the guitar in standard tuning because the song is actually in drop D. And for people, I mean, it's a very common thing to know what drop D is, but maybe you don't know what that is. And if you don't know what that is when we take our thickest E string normally and we tune it down to D. Now, a couple of ways you can do that. If you know the way to tune up a guitar, to the strings, you've got this trick where you can press down on the 5th fret on the thicker string, and that should sound the same as the open string below it. I'll just go to the clean channel for this. So the 5th fret on the thicker string sounds the same as the open string below that. 5th fret on the A string sounds the same as the open D. The 5th fret on the D string sounds the same as the open G, and then you go to fret 4 for the G, which will sound like the B. So what you can do, you can use it for doing drop D. You can drop this top string down, so the 7th fret will sound the same as the open A string below it.
Before we get into the weeds of the lesson,
yeah.
Do we want to just tell them if this lesson's obviously for more advanced people, or?
Well, no, it's for a lesson for people who want to, or who maybe have never come across a drop D kind of song before.
Yep.
And we're looking mainly at power chords in drop D, which is actually just a 1 finger flat across 3 strings on the top 3.
So even if you're a total beginner, you can probably rock out in the song.
Totally, yeah. There is a solo in this song, which is actually it's kind of tricky. So maybe we can put a timestamp in the description or something like that.
Yeah. So as a beginner, maybe just hang tight, or just the first part where it's just the chords and stuff like that.
Yeah,
the best.
Yeah, but absolutely have a crack at the solo. I mean, there's a lot of techniques in the solo that take time to kind of perfect, and what I mean by that is like hammer-ons and pull-offs. There's a lot of that sort of stuff. It sounds really flashy, but once you understand how to do hammer-ons and pull-offs, it's not as hard as you think. Everything, when you're learning a solo for the first time, you listen to a solo, you go, oh my god, that sounds so hard. But when you actually sit down and work it out slowly and in little chunks and put it together, it's not as hard as you think. Although this is a tricky solo,
Man, make up your mind.
Yeah, you could learn it.
Give it a crack.
Yeah.
Give it a crack.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So far we got drop D.
Drop D. So yeah, you can press down on the 7th fret on the thicker string, and that should sound the same as the open A string below it. Alternatively, you can play the open D string, which is your 4th string here, and that should sound the same.
And that's a must do for the song?
Yeah, that's a must do, yeah. That's an octave apart there.
Okay.
So when you play the top 3 strings open, it's a D power chord there.
Yeah.
Okay, which means when you play it like that, because we've changed, normally a power chord would look like this, because we've tuned that top string down, we need to, by a tone, we need to bring that up a tone, so rather than playing it, you just use 1 finger flat on these strings. And then the 3 chords that we're really going to play on this is if you'd never done it before, to make it easier, it'd be open D. It's top 3 strings open. 7th fret on the thickest, 7th fret on the top 3 strings. I'm flattening with my 1st finger across the top 3 strings. Taking it down to 5 and open. And that's pretty much everything you need for this song, chord-wise.
So playing it as a drop D just enables you to play those chords way easier.
Yeah, you just can flatten it down like that.
Yeah. So this is like a 1 finger song.
Pretty much, man, yeah. I mean, I'm going to embellish it a bit. I'm going to show you an easy way to do it like that. And then with the D, rather than just playing open top 3 strings, you can add this little shape here. And you can play every string. And this is kind of still a D power chord, but it's kind of like adding an E. So it's almost like a sus2 sort of thing. Yeah.
Alright.
But we're just going to call it a D
Alright.
chord.
Call it what it is.
Alright. I'm going to go for a bit of overdrive here. So the song starts with the intro, and we have this line here, which is... I'll just play it for you first. And it's kind of all palm muted. Okay, so that is, we're going to 4th fret on the D string, and you can hit that twice. Dum, dum, and then you can put your 2nd finger on the D, which is the 5th fret on the A string. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we go back to it. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 we're going to take this back to fret 2. And this first finger is going to be playing fret 2, and it's the same kind of groove, and we're going to be going from here to here with our third finger to the 4th fret. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So that's kind of like our first 4 bars. So from the start again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4. And to finish it off, it's just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 that's our whole intro. And that's all palm muting, so I've got my heel of my palm pressing down on the strings right in front of the saddle there to get that sound. Now remember, if you have it too far back, it's not going to palm mute at all, and if you have it too far forward, it's going to choke out those strings and you're not going to hear any tone at all. So just experiment sliding your hand up and down, find the perfect spot.
Pretty useful tip for anyone who wants to play kind of that kind of grungy,
yeah,
kind of
rock,
punky.
anything like that. You're going to have to know how to do palm muting, and so just know that when you're palm muting, if you think you get a good sound, just experiment by moving that hand forward and back. And you want to, if I'm playing this open D string at the top, too far back, I'm behind the bridge here, that's not going to work. Slide it forward. That's pretty nice chunky tone there. If I slide it too far forward, it starts thinning out. You can losing all the bottom end of that note, all the bassy notes. That's what we want right there. Okay. Along with that intro, there's a second guitar part that's playing what we're actually going to play in the whole verse anyway, which is the open top string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 up to fret 7, and I'm only playing one string here, down to 5, back to the open string. And this is actually exactly what we're going to do for our verse.
Yeah, right.
It's our whole verse there, for every verse, okay? So let me take you through that again. So you can kind of play the top one string, even the top 2 if you want. But if you want to do in the verse, you can just do one string. I'm just going to play it flat, as if I was playing the power chord. So it's open to start with. 1, 2, 3, verse. Hey, run yourself off 7. Back to 5. Open. So we start with the open again. Best 2, 3, 4, 1. 7, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, down to 5, 2, 3, 4. Open 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It just takes time. And then we're going to our chorus.
Okay.
Did you get that okay?
I think that's good, yeah. Seems
pretty much
simple.
It's
so
like an
far.
open, 7, 5, open. That's the chord progression.
Yep.
Yeah.
Piece cake.
So it starts and finishes on an open. So some people, when they're playing for the first time, they might go open to 7 to 5 to open, and they go to the 7 too early. Just remember, it stays on the open string. It starts and finishes on that, so you've got to keep that in mind. Now the chorus, we are going to, you can keep it just the top 3 strings open. You go, it just takes some time to up, and you can just kind of go, we rest on beat 1, so it's like 1, 2, 3, it just takes 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're coming in on beat 2, so it'll be like, when we finish off the verse, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to open, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And so typically the strumming here is just going to be, on the first one we're going to go rest, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Then we're going to 7, and you're going to go down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Same on 5. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, open, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now let's do that again, but this time we're going to play it like this.
Let's just see that close up a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm playing this chord. I'm playing every string here. I'm going.
Just those 2 fingers.
Yep. It's based on a D major chord like this.
Yeah.
You can take that off. And it's got this open E, or you can even mute it, like my 3rd finger. If I flatten it and mute it, it's not essential.
Yeah.
And if you do it like that, you're playing just a D power chord, which means I'm only playing 2 different notes. I mean, even though I'm playing like say 5 strings, I'm only playing a D note and an A note. So in the key of D major, we have a D, E, F sharp, G, and an A. We're only playing just the D and the A, the first and the fifth, because we have our open D note here, this open D string, we have this open D string, this third finger is also playing a D, so there's three of these strings are playing, you're playing a D note, you've got your open A string, and then your first finger is on the second fret on the G string, that's going to give you the A note as well, so we've got D and A the whole way through.
So that's what's like the main difference between like a power chord and a normal chord, is it just has like the first and the fifth.
That's your major chord, or your major chord or minor chord.
Jesus, man.
And then that's like, this is kind of how you do it. It's your first, third, fifth in your key. So if you got, here's like your D majors. If you, let's just say C, because there's no sharps and flats, you've got a C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That's your C major scale. Now the notes out of that make up a C major chord are those ones there. The first, the third, and the fifth, which would be a C, an E, and a G. So if you know your notes on the piano, you could try that. And if you want to play just a quick kind of bit of theory, if you want to play at a minor chord, you flatten the third, which will make it a C, E flat, and a G. And if you want to play a power chord, or sometimes you might see a chord that will just say C5, you're just playing the root note in the fifth, which would be a C and a G.
Yep.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah? I mean, there's so much more to it, and you kind of need to sit down and kind of...
It's just like hearing it a few times and seeing it actually applied, like in this song, and learning about power chords and stuff like that. I think eventually it makes more sense. Yeah,
you just let this wash over you, and then the more you kind of, maybe, look for the answers and practice it, it comes with time. You have those little bing, those little like light bulb moments that you kind of go, shit, I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's just last thing. Power chords don't have a major or minor
They're neither major nor minor, because it's that's that third note that makes it major or minor.
Yep.
So if you get rid of that, it's just a 5 chord or power chord.
Yep.
So that's why you hear, there's lots of riffs where it might just be like Slither by Velvet Revolver, which is, I'm getting so sidetracked here. They're all just power chords next to each other.
Alright.
So there's no major or minor to that, they're just power chords. I'm getting sidetracked.
Yeah, battery's running out too, so let's keep going.
Okay, cool. So our chorus, we're going to hold this on, we're not going to play on beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, 7, down, up, moving down to 5, down, down, up, down, up, open. Okay, verse 2, same as verse 1, exactly the same thing. Second chorus is the same thing as that first chorus, but it's doubled, it's twice as long. So it just takes some time. We do that twice. After that, we go to the solo section, and I'll just quickly take you through the chords of the solo section. Yeah?
Yep.
It starts on the 7th fret, it's down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, to open. Down, down, up. That again, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, open, down, up. Gonna move to 5 here. To open. Back to 7. We're gonna stay here for a second time, and then we're gonna go 1, 2, and that's it.
Nice.
And that's the rhythm part, the rhythm guitar section behind the solo. Cool. Solo?
Yeah, let's go for the solo.
Alrighty, so the solo, I'm just going to go through it in kind of bar to bar, in little sections, and start slowly. So if you are a beginner and you want to tackle it, absolutely give it a go.
Is the solo in a particular key?
It's in the key of D major. The song's in D major.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I just play the solo through. So
yeah,
you hear
let's
it.
do it,
So I'll do it at a slightly slower tempo, but it's like... Pretty tricky.
Yeah, I guess so. What are like the main things you're going to learn from, besides obviously just that solo? What are the elements of the solo they can kind of look out for?
Well, it's kind of cool. Like when this climb down is in D major, so looking at maybe when people learn solos for the first time, it's more like it's kind of moving up and down horizontally this way,
yeah,
as opposed to like going linearly up the neck sort of thing. Okay. So in this one, we kind of go from a D major. So if you know anything like sort of the formula of a major scale, if you have your starting note, this is a D note here. A major scale, there's a formula for that, which is like a tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. A tone is 2 frets and a semitone is 1. So if you have one note here, you're going to move a tone up 2 frets, another tone up 2 frets, a semitone up 1 fret, then 3 tones. So up 2 frets, tone, 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 and then you're here. This is the same note that you started on. So that's a major scale on 1 string. So you can kind of go. So
it's just D major.
Yeah, it's the same as going like, where would that be? So we've got this part where it's like, and this is called like tremolo picking, where you're kind of just doing like fast picking, like all alternate sort of thing. That's right. And what I'm doing here is playing these last few notes with the open string at the bottom.
Sick.
Yeah, so it is tricky, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot closer.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start here on the 2nd fret on the 2nd string with our first finger, and you're going to be hammering on the 3rd fret. So, and then pulling off. So I only pick the string once when I'm on this 2nd fret here. I pick the string here, and my right hand is now off the string. My picking hand. I'm going to hammer this 2nd finger on, and I'm going to pull it off. You remember with the pull off, you've got to kind of tweak it down a bit. So it's like pick it, hammer it on, pull it off, pull that one off. Once again, just kind of, you can't just take it off because you won't get much sound. You want to flick it off sort of thing with a pull off. Okay. You get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second thing is the same, but we're going from first finger to first finger on the 2nd fret to 3rd finger on the 4th fret. But the same technique. Okay, so we've got same thing on the next 2 strings, but we're going to go 4 to 5 with our first finger on 4 on the 4th string, and same thing on the string on the A string above it. So when you do it slowly, it doesn't seem as hard, right? Fast, it sounds quite flashy. You know what I mean? That's the first section, the next part. So we're going to slide with our 2nd finger from the 5th fret on the A string up to 7. Bring it back to the 5th fret. So it's okay. So it's after that we're going to go first finger on 4. To 5, and then hammer on and pull off again, like that, and then the open D string. Do that again. So that's. Yep. Next section is almost the same. But now we're going to go tremolo picking on the 5th fret here. 7th fret with the little finger, 4th with the 1st, and land there. So that was. Sorry. That cool?
Yep.
I mean, it's tricky, but we'll just if anyone's watching, they can kind of just go back and have a listen through.
Yeah. Just rewind and go back over and over, right?
Okay. So the next part, we're going to slide. We do that twice, okay? So that's from 5 to 7, back to 4, and again. We're then going to shoot this 3rd finger over to 7 on the 3rd string. You're going to play it, rest, play, slide, okay? So it's. So that was 7, slide up to 9, slide up to 11, slide up to 12, 11, 12. Okay, after that we're going to fret number 15 on the 2nd string, and this is the tremolo picking. All 16 though, so 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So And we're going to take it to fret 8 with the all these notes now played the second and first string, with the first string being open. And then finishing off with the 2 open strings, the first and second string. Pretty tricky, but just go back through and have a listen.
Yeah, so if you're a beginner, you'd probably just kind of like try to pick up like the first part slowly.
Just if you've never done hammer-ons and pull-offs, just practice that first section, hammer-on and pull-off. Even just one note, just practice that, because when you're first starting off, it's hard to even hear that second note.
Yeah.
You hear like, you got to develop that strength in your second finger.
Yeah.
Hammering it on, and it comes, if you've got a clean sound, it's harder to kind of get it as much. So if you have like an overdrive option on your amp or via a pedal, you turn that gain up, you can hear the sustain of the note a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think people would be surprised at how quickly their muscle memory in their fingers, like they do it really slow, but within like a week or two, it starts to really kind of...
Totally, and it's just a consistent thing. If you can only put in 5 minutes a day, then just do that, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, the more time you can put in, it's the thing though is consistently doing it as many days in a row as you can.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if you can practice 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, whatever, it all counts. There's no like shortcuts. You know?
Yeah, and even if you don't totally love this solo, I think the skills in learning this solo will just like add to your ability to become better at like just
for sure.
flowing
There's
the net.
There's something to learn in everything, even if it's not fully your bag. You're not really that into it. There's definitely something to take away from it. You know. Yeah. This is kind of cool because it's in a major key. You know, a lot of solos kind of
in a minor.
In rock and tunes are in a minor key. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
it's kind of cool for that.
Yeah.
You know, after that solo, it goes back to a verse. And then a chorus, and then that's the whole song. It's a double chorus at the end, and that's it. So there's not really much more to show on this one.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So
sweet.
Hope you've enjoyed that lesson. I know we kind of flew through that pretty quick, and particularly that solo. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments, please get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Go check out whaleguitar.com for our courses there on pentatonics, which would once again help a lot with. We cover all those techniques, hammer-ons and pull-ons and stuff, pull-offs and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy.
Sick, man. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
All right.
See you in the next vid.
That you will.